This one or this one?
We're supposed to do this pre-show there, Kevin, but welcome everybody as we take you behind the scenes and what a diva Kevin is. But Family Matters, as always, since a week ago or something. So I say, as always, sponsored by JAYWALKER Lodge up in Carbondale, Colorado, and the head of the family guru, Kevin Peterson himself at JAYWALKER. So, Kevin, how are you? You got your wardrobe all situated?
Yeah, I'm picking out a watch now. I got called a guru today, and this company was doing a presentation to us, and they were like, "Well, Kevin's a guru," and I was like, "I'm gonna put that Kevin Peterson LMFT guru."
Wow, I'm just insulted that someone else is calling you that. I thought I was the only one, but you know what? Word is, I guess, getting out. So
you can have the trademark.
These things I have to do, I tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's Family Matters. Yeah. We do this show every week to the best of our ability, sponsored by JAYWALKER, of course, and we answer questions and calm fears, whatever you really want to do. We call this our holiday special, our Christmas special, because I don't think we'll be doing a show on Christmas Day. But
no, we can.
And you should not be on electronics on Christmas Day watching Family Matters. So we're going to give you guys a break. Yep. No electronics should be on Christmas unless you buy, get gifted a new iPhone or something. But whatever.
That.
Yeah. So we do this to the best of our ability, answer questions, and so I think to wrap things up, we got a couple of questions, and we'll just kind of make it our holiday special. Let's just start out with, when you have a family. Let's kind of go in two parts. The first part, let's just say they're still in active addiction, or they're still kind of shaky. Possibly whatever it may be. And then we'll talk about maybe people that are thinking about going to treatment or in early recovery. So for people in active addiction, we get a lot of questions. And one in particular, just talking about the chaos that would ensue if that addict comes to Christmas Day dinner or opening presents. So in general, what's kind of some basic rules you tell families for someone that's active addiction and how they can kind of protect themselves from, taking care of themselves?
From the family Christmas drama?
Yeah.
That I used to cause? I would just be really clear. I would say, hey, you're welcome to come here, but here are the rules, and if they're in active addiction, you have the right to say, no drinking, no drugs. And if we suspect you are, we're going to ask you to leave. We're not going to fight with you. It's not going to be big drama. It's not going to be the big to-do. We're just going to make it clear we're not okay with that, and what we will politely ask you to leave. We'll just pull you aside and say, hey, I'm sorry. We just not okay. That's the first thing I would say. The other thing is, okay, well, what if they're there and they're kind of, like maybe they're not drunk or drinking, but they're being a pain in the butt, and I was kind of famous for that as well.
We love bringing people down. When we're in active addiction, we love taking people down with us.
I'm burning it down, Jay. It's all going down.
And I feel like crap. You guys are all going to feel like.
Yeah, I'm burning this place down. And again, it's where you want to be clear and concise with them ahead of time and say, hey, we love you. We want you here for the holidays. We just want to be clear. No drinking, no drugs. And everyone needs to be on their best behavior, which means, just don't poke the bear, and there's nothing wrong with setting those boundaries. And then remember, boundaries have to have an accountability function, right? So when this, and then there has to be a rewards and consequence, right? So if you can't just say, you can come to Christmas, but no drinking. You can say, hey, we would love you. We'd love to have you here. But we want to be clear, there's no drinking and there's no drugs. So I saw Thanksgiving. You saw all the articles on Thanksgiving about the cousin walk after dinner before pie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, right. I thought it was before dinner, but I don't know. I was like, oh, you guys did it after dinner? I showed up. So it's just like, hey, this is not okay, and also, we're not talking about politics, and because that was always my favorite, and we're not going to talk about, we're going to keep things light and comfortable. And the other thing I would tell you too is, and it's okay to say this ahead of time in like an email, and just say, this is where we're at. This is what's going on. And if they react to it like, whoa, is everybody? Yeah, this is for everybody. And just make it really clear that, so this is the boundary. Remember, the boundary is about you. It's not about them. You want to make your Christmas easy, fun, and comfortable. That's why you're doing this. It's not about them. And you just make it clear, this is the gig. Okay, got it. And then, and if something happens, we're going to pull you aside and ask you to leave. And we're not going to have a fuss. We're not going to be mad. We're not going to throw tantrums. Not going to be, big to do. It's just going to be, hey, it's your choice to continue down this path and behave like this or use, but that means you're not going to be here. Yeah. And so we'll get you an Uber or whatever the case may be. But you, meaning the family, you have to be strong enough to do that, because of course, what everybody thinks is we'll set the boundaries and that will force them to behave. That's not what this is about. Yeah. This is about you saying, in my house at Christmas, these are my expectations, because I want things to be calm and comfortable for everybody. That's it. That's the gig.
Well, with Christmas, you got the family. It's Christmas, and there's families out there that, some of these active addictions may be, dads with little, kids and so forth like that. We got one question in particular. How would you guys suggest we tell grandma not to give our son money again without hurting grandma's feelings? And, in general, we can just talk about, Christmas is gifts. And some people are using those gifts for ulterior motives to pawn or whatever it may be. And, grandma seems to always want to give cash. And then you got little Johnny and Sally that want to see dad. So in general, how do you, what's the communication with the family members that may not be well-versed on what's really going on with Johnny?
Great question. Oh my God, great question. And the simple thing is just connecting with them ahead of time and saying, hey, and here's the thing. People are going to try to, well, we don't want to tell her. I'm like, okay, no, you need to tell her. We got to quit dancing around, the giant pink elephant in the middle of the room. I have a funny story. I got to tell you this. When I was my first year,
did you get a pink elephant?
Well, just listen. My first gig as a therapist was in Denver at Arapahoe Douglas Mental Health, and I was in child and family services, and so I was seeing kids and teenagers and stuff. And I had this lovely young woman, Hispanic young woman, who she's just a great, she's like 15, 16, and she had a lot of trauma in her family. Said blah blah blah. Blah. And she had what's called trichotillomania, which means she was pulling all her hair out. So she always wore a wig, and then one time she took it off, and there were clumps of missing. And it's a very anxiety-driven. It's a really fascinating. But we were talking about it, and I said, how do you bring this up with people, or do you, like you're saying, how do you bring this up? And she's like, I don't know. I said, it's kind of like the big pink elephant in the middle of the room. And she was a bigger girl. And she's like, you think I'm a pink elephant? And I'm like, no, that's not what I was saying. And she's like, no, I want to be a hippo. I want to be a pink hippo. I'm like, you can be whatever you want. It's just a phrase that means there's a topic that nobody's talking about. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I just called a teenage girl an elephant. And she didn't take it that way. She laughed it off. But that's the
Uh,
thing, you got to tell grandma, you got to tell the uncles and aunts, you got to tell everybody, hey, you know, Kevin's going to come and he's fighting addiction. And so that means we're going to be dry. And that means don't give him cash, and don't give him gift cards because every gift card I got, I went straight to the store and got cash. So, let's just, we'll help you with that process. But, we don't want to facilitate or enable them. And you just got to put the cards on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, and let's kind of transition to early recovery. I know I've talked to a couple of families already this week, and they're already saying like, well, I know he needs treatment or she needs treatment, but Christmas coming up or something like that. And so let's just in general, anyone kind of thinking about going to treatment, and maybe even the people currently at Jaywalker or currently in treatment, how do you express to the family kind of the importance of, kind of being in a safe place over Christmas? And families kind of want to be like, well, maybe we'll wait until after Christmas to get into treatment. My belief is if he's wanting to go now. There's going to be plenty of Christmases to later, like playing Russian roulette. This may be a final Christmas if he gets the wrong drug. So how do you kind of just in general around, if you're currently in treatment, the families, is Johnny getting presents? And if there's got a family out there that's thinking about going into treatment and, maybe holding off until after Christmas.
So let's be super duper clear. There is no good time. And I'll tell you a story because this was a year ago. This was last year. This was a repeat customer, family of mine. And the kid had gone to Jaywalker and you actually might remember them, but we'll keep the anonymity sides here. And last year at this time, he started blowing up again. And mom and dad are like, oh, okay, well, I think we want him, let him get him. He says he can keep it together to get through finals.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I got to be honest with you. That's not going to happen. And they're like, no, we're going to make it happen. And, 24 hours later, they're like, okay, we're flying. That's it. I'm like, yeah, I know. There's just no good time. By the way, he just celebrated a year sober. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
Going down to LSU, is that the family?
Yeah, and
miracles do happen.
Well, he went to a place up in Brunswick, Georgia called Doc's Place that, just lock it down, no questions asked, no frills. But that was one of those situations where everyone's trying to find a convenient time. Mm-hmm. There is no convenient time. And let's be honest, wouldn't you rather he was, went in and, engaged today and got sober today and missed, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and Valentine's Day or whatever else is coming this year and trade it for the rest of his life, And I think that's really, but the family has to get to that point where they're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? That's the key here. The family has to be at the point where like, we are done playing this game and we're done, with this whole nonsensical situation and we're afraid you're going to die. And so that's when, it might be Christmas Eve, it might be Christmas Day, it could be Boxing Day, whatever, but it's like, nope, time's up. So don't try to schedule it. Yeah. And the good news is
it's about making memories, and I think it's kind of an investment. I always talk about the investment. How many more Christmases or whatever the holidays is. I spent, I think I've spent definitely one Christmas in the long-term place, and I thought it would be this big impact on my family. It turns out like I couldn't even remember how many times I've missed Christmas, and my family is grateful for the being present Christmas moving forwards now. So, and what we were talking about, we just got done talking about like walking on eggshells. Do we invite Johnny to Christmas if he's an active addict? Imagine the peace of mind families would have if Johnny was currently in a safe environment, and you guys don't have to do walking around in eggshells or something. I follow up. Our second is talking just about that. Is, you know, he's just got on the treatment. He's currently living in sober living. Obviously, going to have a day pass to come for Christmas. You know,
Yep.
This may sound weird, but how do we make them feel included without walking on eggshells? Can we ask them how they're doing, or is that triggering to them?
Great question. I just got this yesterday from a family, and here's the answer. Just make it like they're coming home from college. Just make it normal. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? It's good to have you here. Do not interrogate. What are you talking about in therapy? You know, and you know, I always love that because they're like,
don't do that in general. I mean, I'm still
what'd you tell them about us? I'm like, oh God, stop. Just stop, you know, and just make them feel welcome and make them feel home. Now, I also want to tell you that when it comes to stuff like this, we kind of have a blanket position of, for the first year, no alcohol. For the Christmas, for the New Year's, I mean, we just say no. That's just not a, you know. And let me tell you, the guy's going to be like, oh, I'm fine. It's okay. And it's like, yeah, but it's, you know what? It's okay to support them as well. And not for the rest of your life. And you don't have to quit drinking. But, you know, or using or whatever your thing is. But you want to be, this is like an active support for them, saying, hey, you know, we want you here. We want you home for the event, and it's going to be dry. We're not going to have any alcohol not because of you, because that's a family decision. It's not a you decision. We've been making too many decisions about you anyway. Now this is a family decision, because here's what you're going to find out: a lot less drama when there's no alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah. When my family would have dry stuff, it was really like, oh, okay. Well, you know. That was fun.
We had a dry, I think Thanksgiving it was or something, and it was extremely, like, my family, they just like partaking. I think I'm the only one that kind of goes to extreme, but even I was like, this is awkward, you know, like, and I was just like, go drink, or I mean, like, it just feels like, I feel like we're like aliens or something, and everyone wants to have a drink, but no one's, you know. And I still remember my brother just saying, like, you know, like, what if this is not just about you, and maybe that's about us supporting you? And I was like, oh, my brother and I never really had those deep, but he got me good. He zinged me, whatever one's, you know. And I didn't, you know, I was still early in recovery and selfish and self-centered, but I mean, I look back on that, and you know, what a big statement that was for my family. Here I'm thinking, I'm personalizing everything. This is awkward. Just go do whatever you guys want to do. But it was a pretty loud statement for my family to be like, we're going to support you in this, and we're not going to have alcohol, you know, at the holidays. So, you know, we like to be selfish, self-centered, say, hey, go drink, do whatever. This is awkward. You know, my brother zinged me pretty good and said, you know, this may not be about you. This may be us supporting you. So,
yep. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, and mind tricks, man. Those family members will play mind tricks. Like, you know, I always thought, like, we always talk about, like, you know, I stopped drinking and people are like, oh, people are going to, you know, talk about me nonstop, not drinking on the golf course. People are just going to be like weirded out by me. And it turns out no one really even cares. More often than not, I'll get this. Oh, wait, you haven't been drinking? And I'm like, no, I didn't drink. Oh, I didn't notice. And I'm like,
yeah,
come on. I thought you were talking about me nonstop today, but you know.
Yeah. You didn't get the memo that, you know, the most important person in the world is decided to make a life change, and everybody needs to engage and acknowledge it.
Thank you for saying I'm the most important person. That means a lot. You know? I know you were talking about me.
I am. I'm always talking about you.
Let's go one. It's the holidays, so we'll just do one bonus. We'll do one bonus present because I like this. I think we forgot about this last week or whatever.
Okay.
They've been sober for 30 days, 33 to be exact. How do you see, Kevin? You know, again, they don't put my name in it, which is rude. But how do you? What kind of boundaries still apply? Question mark. And do do boundaries kind of evolve per se? As they're going, get more and more sober time, I would assume that's what she means.
Oh, well, yeah. So how do you what do you do with the boundaries after they're sober, right?
Yeah, it sounds like he's 33 days, and then she kind of wants to know as he progresses in more and more days, how do do boundaries evolve, I guess.
No, the boundaries don't evolve. The boundaries are the boundaries. As my favorite college football coach, Lincoln Riley, says, the standard is the standard. And the standard and the boundary is no drugs, no alcohol. You have to be self-supporting either through school or work or a combo package. And you have to be addressing your mental health. As long as you are doing those three things for the rest of our existence, we are cool beans, baby. Everything's hunky-dory, cool in the gang. But as soon as you stop doing those things, we're going to have to start enforcing the boundaries again, because we're not dealing with the tornado. And let's be super clear. You can be a tornado dry and not, sober, big tornado, and it's perfectly okay for you to hold that ground and just say, we're so proud of you. Oh my God, this is so wonderful. And keep up the good work, and let us know how we can support you and how we can help you. And no, we're not going to give you money, because that's the first thing they're going to say. Well, I could use a new car.
It's fascinating what I learn each and every week. I mean, and I learn it, and because I have a way of kind of just bouncing around and using 15 words when 3 words are enough, and kind of going around the subject. I like your approach a lot, and I'll just say for me, it's a reminder how and families can take note of this. Clear, concise, to the point. Like don't sugarcoat anything. It's amazing how this clear cut kind of communication goes a long way, instead of just kind of dancing. And boundaries in the same point, like clear cut boundaries that don't go anywhere, that don't bend, they don't break. And what your responses are always straight to the point, boom, leave no wiggle room. And I love that. And I think that's most important for anyone in active addiction or in early recovery, is don't leave wiggle room, make it clear cut, straight to the point, boom. And I think everyone appreciates that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think it makes it easier for them, right? Because what they're coming from is a system where everything was negotiable, right? And what I'm telling them is, oh no, it's okay. You don't have to negotiate. It's your house. It's your party. It's your Christmas. It's your whatever. You don't have to negotiate. If you want to, that's on you. It's not on them.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think a lot of times, like you said, I agree. The families feel empowered because they're like, oh, it's okay for me to say that. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, I didn't want to hurt his feelings. I'm like, oh, hurt his feelings. Maybe they need hurting. And that's okay. There's nothing better than the family recovering, which forces the guy or the gal to recover. So,
amen. Well,
that's it.
Take the rest of the year off, Kevin. You've clocked in enough. I mean, just go on to and we'll have a happy holidays, and to the whole family. It's we're gonna come back. I would assume we haven't talked about it, but probably next week off. But we'll come back the week after that, and we can tell us your success stories, or maybe even the horror stories around Christmas, because other families can learn by your stories. So if you got any questions for us, keep them coming. Otherwise, Kevin, don't overeat over Christmas, all right? Not too many cookies.
No cookies.
I'll see you.
All right, brother. Merry